it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see that everyone is a victim of the market. Like everyone is just disastrously affected, and the the silence is just too much. I keep laughing every day because I keep wondering that you see, the market is doing exactly what it was designed to do. And what was market designed to do? Market was designed to keep you unstable. Right? Market was designed to keep you unstable, literally unstable. Market was not designed to be your friend. Yes, market was not designed to be your friend. Uh, and this is the point of the market that gets interesting because right now you see a lot of people giving up on the crypto space on the daily basis. Even this morning, someone texted me that he or she is sorry that he or she cannot continue with the crypto stuff. And I keep laughing because this just proves more about to me that you're not ready for life if you keep chickening out at every slight downturn. No, you don't. This is where people keep making mistakes, and this is where people will keep being victims of life. You don't, you don't buckle up when the going gets good. You will never make profit that way. You only get good or you only make profit when the going gets tough. They say tough time makes tough men, right? Tough men makes easy situation. Easy situation makes lazy men. Lazy men makes difficult times. Difficult times makes tough men. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Our fathers they made this mistake in the past. Until now, most of them are regretting it. They will not tell you. They might not tell you being their children, but they are regretting it. If you look at their faces, if you look at their expressions, you will see atoms of regret of decisions they did make in the past. Imagine, do you think if our fathers knew that dollar will one day be 700 naira per $1, do you think they would have misbehaved with dollar the way they did? They wouldn't. They wouldn't. It was only few persons out of the whole population of fathers and that generation that were able to, they not that they predicted the future. No, they just believed. They just believed. They just had a hope. They just had a hope that things will someday get better. And they held on to that hope. They held on to that dream. They were not swayed. There were moments they fell off, right? But they were not swayed. They kept on investing in that dollar. Most of them kept on buying dollar when it was useless, when dollar could literally be 1 naira to $1. Yes. And those men are the ones that, in their own time, in their own prime, they became the leaders of their generation. Their children became our classmates in school. And a cycle began again. When we were in secondary school, we had someone like me, I had classmates that knew their parents were high and mighty, they're rich. Not my parents were doing good very well, but not up to that par. So I had classmates that the parents, and I was wondering what's the difference between this guy's father and my father, right? What did my father do wrong? Or what did he do wrong that this guy's father did not do wrong? What did this guy's father do wrong that my father did not do wrong? And earlier on in life, I started seeing that life is in patterns. I started seeing in life that life is in patterns, right? So at an early age, I learned, okay, my father left his family early age to, hustle. and write and do that. And I'm bringing it out to myself now. Okay, I finished school. I'm not with my parents. I'm Muslim. So far, so good. I seem to be the only child of my family or child of my parents that is doing something extremely different from what others are doing, which history also told me that my dad did the same thing. But now I'm trying to check the process. Okay, the process my dad did his own and the process I'm doing my own, is it the same thing? If it's the same thing, then I need to be watchful, because I now need to know correct certain things that will, either make me or marry me, even to marriage, even unto marriage. Then we think, okay, this decision, this at this point, is it necessary? Do I actually need to do this? Must I do this? This is life. It's beyond crypto. This whole stuff is not about the market. It's about you and I. If you look at it that it's just all about the market, it's all about the money we need to make from crypto, you are wrong. You will fall into that same cycle. You will not learn anything. The only thing that will make meaning out of the life is that you will become a millionaire. Crypto is going to learn the lessons in it thereof. So in as much as you have your trading journals, where you document your experiences in the crypto market, make sure to juxtapose that experience with your life experience. Make sure to juxtapose that experience with life experience. Is this thing really, is it how is it going? Like, am I living in a cycle? If I'm living in a cycle, is it a cycle I need to break? Is it a cycle I need to modify for the sake of my children, for the sake of my future, right? Do I need to leave Nigeria, for this thing to be broken? You ask yourself those questions. For some days now, I've been on a transition period in my life. It's been overwhelming, extremely overwhelming. In fact, I know it's not going to happen, but I forbid it. But then I would have preferred to have been sick in that condition. But thanks be to God that I found myself in that condition, because now that condition, it rewired me. It made me think. It made me pray harder. Yes, it made me saw the need for God on a stronger note, and it pushed me back to God on a deeper note. I've been praying, I've been communicating, been trying to keep close relationship with God, right? No matter the mess up I may have done or I may do, right? Life is patterned. The only thing that makes it different is the players and the resources, the modification of resources. Solomon was not wrong when he said there is nothing new under the sun. Nothing. Everything is a cycle. The only thing is each generation, each cycle comes with its modifications in gadgets, in resources, in a lot of things. Each cycle comes with a modification. Yes. And these modifications, makes opportunities available for people that have insight, people that are dogged to take advantage of and become something. This life will keep needing leaders. And these leaders are not made by easy decisions. These leaders are not made by easy decisions. I'm not trying to motivate you to stay in the crypto space. At this point, I've told myself, if anybody is deciding to quit, you want to quit, I will do my best to encourage you. But my encouraging you is not encouraging you to stay. My encouraging you is encouraging you to just do whatever you want to do, right? At the end of the tunnel, at the end of the day, time will tell. You will either enjoy your decision or regret it and continue a cycle again. Because the funny thing, this whole stuff now, you chicken out right now, right? And that you're chickening out doesn't mean you're not going to be successful in any other thing. That's literally the truth. You're going to be successful in any other thing you still wish to do. But here's the catch point of it. You're going to be successful in whatever you still do. But then, your success might not be, at the end of the day, you find out you might not be happy with that success. You might end up, you see, money is not everything. Hey, don't get me wrong. I didn't say you should not make money. You make money. But you get to that point and you also see that true and genuine happiness is not in the amount of money you have. It's in something deeper in your soul. There's an emptiness in man. There's a void in man that can only be filled by God, as the ultimate research and conclusion I've come to make about life. No matter, even Elon Musk with all his money, I can bet you that there's still an emptiness, a void. That's why he keeps thinking of new things to do. He's not thinking of new things to do because he wants to do something new. No, there's an emptiness in his soul, and somewhere in his mind he feels that the more he works, the more he gets innovative idea, the more the more he pushes, the more he releases things, he feels that's where he's going to get fulfillment from. But at the end of the day, it's a mirage. My talk to you this night is not to analyze, is to call it motivation. Yes, fine and good, but it's to the end that, man, let's get this and let's get this right. If not, we might just be 1 inch away from frustration. Yes, I've felt that frustration. During this transition period, I felt it. It was heavy. It took God to help me, and I know what I'm saying. And God is still helping me, and I know He will help you. I don't know why I'm doing this pattern this night or this morning, but whoever gets to listen to this and you're the one I'm speaking to, or it relates to you, just do yourself a favor. Quietly shut down. When I mean shut down, release yourself from the noise and lock up yourself with God. Right now, for the past few days, I just, I go to work, I come back, I look at my door, and I just take myself into solitude. I keep myself one place. I'm playing a sound that resonates with my heart. I'm communicating with God. It's nothing beats that for me. Nothing beats that for me. Nothing beats that for me. It's amazing how these things get to play in my mind. These whole cycles and circle stuff. I just like God. Is this for real? Like the patterns. Years ago, men had the opportunity to buy crypto when it was at its lowest. They didn't buy. So a lot of persons regretted that decision. Another time, during the span of decade, another opportunity presented itself. The market crashed, and people gave up. And it was another opportunity for kings to be made. And right now, we are seeing another crash. And according to history, this is the worst so far. And I've said this thing before. What we what we say is the worst is only relative to the present time. You don't know what's going to happen in future. We are calling this crash now the worst crash in the history of crypto, but I can assure you that even in years to come, a global meltdown is still going to occur, and the people in that phase are still going to tell you that that is the worst crash in history. The world is depleting on a generational basis, right? Everything is happening at once. There's each generation, each decade, each span of years comes with a global meltdown, a pandemic, an epidemic breakout. Wealthy men are also going to be born in that period, right? You need to read, you need to research wide. I was doing a study recently on a man called John D. Rockefeller. Now, I was able to find out that John D. Rockefeller was just like the common average man, the common average guy that wanted to become something, that wanted to hustle. He left his family to hustle, started a job, and from his job, he built capital that he used to start his business. As long as he started his business, he went for a loan he partnered with a man, got a loan, a big loan, started up his business, scaled up his business. Now, guess what? During this time, a global economic meltdown happened, and that global economic meltdown came in the form of World War II. See, it's a cycle. The only difference is the method at which these cycles are playing out. So a global economic meltdown happened due to the World War II. And John D. Rockefeller was forced to re-strategize. He didn't join the army. Trust me, there are a lot of things money will save you. See, if a war breaks out now, and men are being forced to join the army, there are some people that can never be forced to join the army. Why? Because their wealth alone is going to buy off anything they want. It's going to buy off any recruitment that the army wants to do. So they can say, okay, this man is his child or is his children that will, raise the next set of generational millionaires. So let's leave them. Let's not recruit them into the army. That's what happened in John D. Rockefeller's case. His brother was enlisted in the army, his elder brother. And by right, John D. Rockefeller was the younger one. He should have also been included. And he's a young man. The prime he was already a millionaire at that point. He was already doing well. But he could have been included. But people saw it that if we recruit John D., if we recover from this war, who is going to, help our American economy to stabilize? They left him. And he also bribed his way through. Money would be your defense at times. But that's not my point. My point was an economic meltdown happened and it came in form of World War II. That World War II still helped strengthen John D. Rockefeller's wealth. Yes. That World War II still made John D. Rockefeller a wealthy man because he took advantage of that situation. He bought a lot of companies. He bought out literally all. Go and search about the name John D. Rockefeller. They are the wealthiest family in America. Don't mind what you're seeing. If you search on Google right now, the wealthiest family in America, they will bring out list of families, the Wilson families. But I've compared their net worth. The net worth of the family that Google has as the richest family is nothing compared to the net worth of what the Rockefeller family has as their net worth. I think the Rockefeller family they decided to be silent about that, right? Not wanting to enter the media spotlight. Tough times makes tough men, and tough men makes easy life for the next generation. If you chicken out at the time that life is, wanting to make you, I don't know. I don't know how to help you at that point. John D bought out all his competitors, like he bought out all of them. And when he bought out all of them, he employed them back as his staffs. Right? So the managers of the companies he bought out, the CEOs of the companies he bought out, he employed them and used them as board of directors and further scaled up his business. What am I trying to tell you? See, bad things will keep happening. Global market crash will keep happening. This is not the first time stock market is crashing, neither is it going to be the last time stock market is crashing. This is not the first time crypto market is crashing. It's not going to be the last time crypto market is going to crash. This is not the first time anything of sort has happened. It's not going to be the last. It's not. It's not the first, and eventually it will be the last. The only difference is you and I, the players in this game. How do we move? How do we strike? How do we defend? How do we stay? How do we uphold? Are we going to repeat the cycle our parents did? Some of us, our parents had the opportunity of making life-changing investments. But because they wanted the faster route, they fell into the scams of their own time. Oh God, I pray somebody's mind is opening as I'm seeing this thing, and you're seeing this thing today. I'm communicating the week, because everything was made extremely open to me these past few days. I remember having a conversation with my mother, and she said, this whole online scam stuff, it has also played out in different cycles, in different ways. I remember having a conversation with my mother. My mother was so concerned about my online activities, and she told me everything is all scam. That I should not pay attention to all this. And I got to engage her in discussion to find out why she was reacting the way she was reacting. And guess my finding. There had been events of such in the past, and they were scammed. My mom was scammed, literally. My dad too also fell for the scam. So, and it was not once, it was not twice, it was not 3 times, it was not 4 times. After having fallen through such perpetual scams over time, they gave up, and it drew up a conclusion for them that everything out there is a scam. Even when MMM came out, right, when the Ponzi scheme came out, we most of us fell for it, because in our own generation it was new to us. But I remember back then, my mom called my attention to it, that this thing, it happened in our own time, but not like your own. Look at how our own happened. And eventually when MMM crashed, I got to sit back and I did my calculations, and I was like, wow, this is life. Such is life. When a lot of scams, played out in our own generation, we all follow the trend, we all follow the move. So you see that life is in cycles. So even our own children are going to still see scams in their own time, in their own generation. And the scam they are going to see might not be in the format that we have seen it. Right now we are having Web3, we are having blockchain. So possibly the scams they are going to be experiencing, they are going to be experiencing it on a more advanced note. I hope you're getting this. They are going to experience it. But then I now got to weigh both sides. After discussing with my mom, I got to calculate, why would you fall for such a scam if you were not looking for the faster route? Are you getting that? Why would you fall for such wins if you had not decided to be patient with life, invest, slowly, and not with the mindset of reaping it at that point, but in the future. You probably wouldn't have been a victim of most of those scams, because you would have bought stocks, and you wouldn't have just bought any stocks. You would have bought stocks that had the potential, stocks that mattered. I'm still going to get into stocks. I know we are all crypto traders, but don't bother. Being in my masterclass gives you the privilege of having every access to every information that I have. So we are still going to do stocks. And I'm not doing stocks for trading sake. I'm not buying stocks to sell now to make profit. Everything I'm going to do on stocks is to lay up a foundation, a future, not for myself alone, for my children, for my family. Because this was the same thing I realized. I've done my research and I found out that this was the same thing the billionaires and millionaires of now had in mind way back then. When Berkshire, when Warren Buffett was buying Berkshire, when he was buying off shares into Coca-Cola, when he was buying shares into major companies, he was not buying it with the mindset that he was going to reap from it at that time. I've listened to exclusive interviews done on Warren Buffett. I've listened to exclusive interviews done on millionaires. If I've not watched videos, I've watched tons of them. And I found out one thing was consistent. Future was in view. The future was in view. The future was in view. The past was forgotten. The present was being worked on. And the present that was being worked on in respect to the future. With respect to the future. So whatever you're doing now, if you're thinking of quitting, think about the future. Just think about the future. And convince yourself that what you're doing is not for you alone. If you give up, it's going to affect a long line of people along the way. So we have to pay the price. Yes. And I got to sit my mom down and I told her that, Ma, I appreciate this view, but then come to think of it, you needed fast money. You were looking for fast money. That's why you could fall into the hands of those scams. See, one thing about life is when you get to that point, you try to be defensive. As the truth is clear before you, and I was expecting it. So she got to defend herself. She was like, no, that is just that's how life is. That I don't know, ma, calm down. There were people that made decisions to your own time that it didn't turn out bad for them. So check the decisions they made, check the ones you made, and look at the differences. So you wanted the fast cash out, which is happening in our generation right now. Everybody wants a fast cash out. And the people that are having this fast cash out, they are the influencers of now, which was the same thing that happened back then. The people that were having the fast cash out, they were the influencers of that period, right? And the ones that were, slowly waiting for time to manifest, nobody knew them. Nobody. Those people were the people that would have class, right, on a subject and will have one or two students attending their class, only one or two. I heard Warren Buffett say once upon a time that there was a point in his life that he had stuffs to give out, but he was giving them out, but nobody was listening, right? Because the people that seem to have the result then, they're the ones that had the audience. But when all these scams must have died, people will definitely fall back to the genuine ones, making them more richer and more influential when their time explodes. And this has encouraged me. So I'm here right now, sitting, probably talking to one or two persons. Not everybody is attending the class. I'm not bothered, because I'm thinking this for now. Someone will pick up this video, hear this thing, and say, oh, people of this time that were privileged to hear this thing, they made a mistake. They didn't pay attention. They didn't listen. So I got to weigh options. But no matter what I could do, I couldn't still convince my mom that it is not life's fault. Rather, it's your fault. No matter what I could do, I couldn't convince her. So I just let her be. Right? She's doing well, of course. She's a big woman. She's a businesswoman. So she's still hitting her money on the serious note. All right, but that satisfaction, that happiness that comes with you didn't miss your time might not be totally there. I know what I'm telling you. You can make all the money, like I said, but it doesn't guarantee your genuine happiness. Make all the money. It's necessary you make all the money. But in your making of that money, make sure your genuine happiness is secure.